Around 20 days ago, something like that, we recorded part 1 of HappyP's account. So on HappyP's account, there was 925 million power. 20 days later, today, we have 1 billion and 6 million power. Let's check out what happened. Hey everyone, welcome to a new video and welcome to part 2 of HappyP's account. Now, first of all, big thank you to HappyP for providing content to this kind of videos, because what you guys are about to witness today is something that not many players would do. Happy gave me like total permission of sharing everything necessary to, just to show to players. We are going through strike cards, we are going through strike stats, we are going through gears, we are going through how he invests his strike stats on each Pokemon. So we are going through everything, wish stars, etc. So it's gonna be a ride. But first of all, comparing to the previous video, right, we have an 80 million power increase, 80 million difference, right? Now, where did this happen? First of all, over here on the previous video, I'm just going to go over here to the teams. Let's compare the teams. And we still have Diancie on the last team. So first of all, first difference, we have a change from fairy team to some kind of a rock team. So he started playing the rock type buffer instead of the fairy type buffer. So we have that difference, and we have the resinous Ho-Ho over there, which also provides some power difference over there. And we have the same black and white Mesprit and the same sword and shield with a Melmetal. So on the black and white team, 337 million that he has right now, we have 320, so it was 17 million power difference over there. On the sword and shield, 221 million that we have right now, so it's around 20 million as well difference on the sword and shield team. And we were 402 million power on the Diancie team. Right now, 447, so around 45 million increase. I mean, most of it could be mostly just Ho-Ho and Stakataka. I mean, mostly Ho-Ho, because Ho-Ho itself, we are going to check it out. Ho-Ho itself, 33 million power. Mostly the Ho-Ho gets a lot of power because of having access to third ability, dream ability, breakthrough skills. So like Ho-Ho itself gets a lot of power out of that. But if we compare Diancie, it's almost 400 million power already. And Diancie itself, if we go and move on to the teams, look at this. It was 368 million, we are at 396 million, so it's around 28 million power increase only on Diancie in around 20 days, and there was like a 30 million increase on white. Now, according to Happy, what happened is he actually invested strike cards only on white, mostly on speed, because he needed that speed, he wanted to be a fast boy. He's already a fast boy, but he needs to be faster. That's how competitive works. In high powers, you sometimes need to be even faster than you already are. And most of the power of Diancie, or technically all the power of Diancie, was on other things like small fixes and mostly furniture. Now let me go over here to the video where I start talking about furniture on the previous video, right? We have over here, we can see the fineness of his current house. We have like all the percentages over here at 804k fineness. And now let's check it out, because I actually did not previously check before I started recording. 849k. So right now we are what? On the cross server rankings, we can see over here VX with the most beautiful house, almost 1.3 million on fineness. And we have Happy on rank 9, which is honestly not bad at all. For an account on 774, this is actually very insane. So we can say that mostly those small fixes on the account, plus a bunch of furniture that was obtained through the 20 days. Also, changing the resinous Ho-Ho to a main team, that was an increase of around 80 million power on the total CL, which is actually quite crazy. Now let's actually talk about the part that people mostly care about, which is how does he build his Pokemon? Let's start with the third team. So the third team is Sword and Shield. This is actually probably his damage dealing team to the bosses. But right now, how does he build his third team? It's actually not Sword main, it's actually Shield main. So Shield main, what do we have here? We have some defenses, we have some attacks, some HP. Ignore the special attack, okay. This special attack, this was most likely, and it is pretty sure, an inherit from an old Pokemon, so he wanted to take advantage of that old Pokemon. Previously, keeping in mind, like if we go and look at his Pokemons, he has double special attacker. So at the time that he started playing it, he started investing on his Pokemons, there was no Sword and Shield, so technically, he started investing on 2 special attackers instead of a special and a physical. This resulted in when Sword and Shield actually became way too OP, he felt like, well, I cannot play Sword and Shield, like I'm way too invested into special attackers, so I need to find a way around. So that's why he started playing Diancie, countering those black and white teams. Diancie is actually strong enough, but that's the thing about Diancie, it needs to be played by somebody who can invest on her, and you will be actually able to counter black and white this way. That's mostly like Diancie needs a lot of investments. That's what I want to say. Like, it's not very well played at lower powers, but for people who have the resources to invest on her, she becomes like very good. But let's go back to Shield. Okay, we have Shield over here with some strike investments. Let's ignore the special attack. And Shield can actually become quite tanky, that's why he enjoys playing Shield main. He has the double star held on him, he has like a legendary ribbon which provides him with defenses as well. Let's go and check the gear. He has a Ho-Ho set, already level 240 Ho-Ho set. With, as you can see, look at all of these gems. Look at all of these gems. Like a lot of speed, a lot of defenses, and the HP as well. So maxed out on gems on these sets. That's why, even though it has like this amount of investment on the strike cards, that's why he gets all of this power and all of these stats. It's mostly as well because of the gems on the gear. And going to the hidden skills, what is our preference over here? So we can see a fire res over here, fire resistance. This is useful against black and white that wants to basically use a fire attack single target at you. And some people might be wondering like, okay, but why would they do that? Because they already reduce the damage of fire type attacks with their third ability. I mean, it's understandable that even though you are already resistant to something, you want to have even more resistance, because basically that would be probably your only weakness, would be like a fire type attack because you are steel type. So like you already take more damage from those attacks, even though technically Sword and Shield reduce the restriction damage that they take. But even then, okay, if you are aiming to just defend yourself against higher power players, sometimes players do that. They just put resistances, even though they are already protected against those, they just put even more. Because if you can handle even more, it means that you can handle higher power enemies. That's the main goal of this. And we have a very interesting setup over here, which is the Hedgehog and the Reflect. Now, these hidden skills over here are very specific. Usually they are used on side Pokemon, so Pokemon that are not your main attackers, and those are usually used to break shields. That's what mostly people used to like play them for. But on this kind of Pokemon, Sword and Shield, they already reflect so much damage due to their passives. But this can be a very nice usage, like a very decent strategy for Shield, because he already reflects damage, and this will help him reflect even more, which happens that if you are attacking a Pokemon with a high amount of HP, you are just going to get slapped, basically a slap in return, because you are reflecting a lot of damage, pretty much. We can also see Sword itself, and I am honestly impressed on seeing a level 240 Regigigas gear over here. We can see Sword itself using a Regigigas gear, so this will increase all of your team's defenses, and this is basically to just make your shield much tankier. Using a Regigigas gear on your side Pokemon will just make your shield just much tankier. And then we complete the team with Melmetal. And Melmetal also having a level 240 Regigigas Cinnabar gear. Okay, I was honestly not expecting to see this. Like, I know he was already building this a while ago. Like, he was starting to build this up, but I was not expecting to see already 2 full Cinnabar Regigigas gears at 240. Okay, that's very cool. That's why his that's why his shield, even though like compared to other Pokemons, to other enemies, that's why his shield just has like so much defensive stats and can take black and whites, like, which are much higher power. So that's one of the reasons. Okay, there's a lot of reasons, of course, behind this. You have mostly the hidden skills, you have the stats on the gears, but now we also have Regigigas gears on the side Pokemon, so on the Pokemon that are on the team. Okay, very cool. I like this. Very quickly, let's take a look as well at the Wish Star, since we are talking about it. So the setup that we have over here, it will be a Crystal Star. For those who don't know, it's basically to increase damage. We also have a Beast Star. This is amazing, increasing tenacity to your Pokemon so that he gets even tankier. We have Time Star to decrease the enemy's speed and increase yours a little bit. Synchro, res of the same attribute as itself. Okay, interesting. And then we have a Flare Star, increasing your own damage and reducing the restriction damage that you receive. What about the teammates? So the teammates will be Sword and Melmetal, and as we can see over here, it's basically things to support your own main attacker, which is in this case is Shield. So we have Beast Star, we also have Flare, we have Time, we have Crystal. So all of these are stars that can basically support everybody in the team. And then to top it off, we have Steel Star. I mean, it's still a 50 million sword. It will still deal some damage. So if he gets to move, he will deal some damage with that, and that's just a damage increase, like using his group move as well. On the Melmetal, we basically have the same support setup. It's not the same. We have Creator Star, which also increases your skill damage. As you can see, like, there's a lot of Wish Stars. It's just to increase skill damage. We have Unova Star to disable Quick Claw from enemies. This can be important. And then we have a Double Leaves, because the damage of whoever is holding this, it's decreased by 30%, but increases all the other Pokemon's special attack by 15. And you might be wondering, like, why would he use this on this specific Pokemon? Like, increasing special attack to others, that means that he would be increasing special attack to this one over here. And you might be wondering, like, why the heck is he doing this? Why is he not using a Wish Star that increases physical attack instead? I mean, my only logic reply would be, there's no other better Wish Star that he can use right now. Like, getting Wish Stars is not something that you can just get easily. He's probably still just raiding legendary journeys every single day, so that's his best option right now. It's better to increase special attack to your allies than having something completely useless over here, keeping in mind that also Sword converts a small percentage of the special attack into his own physical attack, so technically it's not a waste. At least it helps on something. It's better to help on something, even if it's just a little bit, than being completely useless. Going to the second team, we have Black and White and Mesprit. We have Big Daddy over here. You guys will understand the reference in a little bit. So Big Daddy is using a Wishing Ribbon. Wishing Ribbon is very common between Black and White users, because what you want to do usually with your Black and White is, like, you want to move first and you want to destroy the enemy before they get a chance to move. So Wishing Ribbon, 10% speed, right? And also immune to control for 2 rounds. This can be important. On top of that, we have a Double Star Resonance Lightstone, which also has a lot of cool effects. We have a completely maxed out Thunder set gear, and now you guys can notice a small difference on this gear compared to the other. What do you see? You see a bunch of empty gem slots, and this basically means he's just using what he needs. He's going for full special attack gems, and full speed. He's basically playing black and white as a complete glass cannon. As we can see over here, we have just 2.1k on the HP. I would assume this is an early investment when he was like a younger power, earlier power, lower power. English is hard sometimes. Special attack to 17k and speed to 47k. This is a complete glass cannon, and that's what it's meant to be most of the times. Is like you are meant to move first and to destroy the enemy, otherwise you might not have a chance in battle. I did not take a specific look at the gear refines on shield, but you guys can go back in the video and guys will probably see. But as we can see, even on the refines of this thunder gear, is mostly just special attack and speed, nothing much else. Special attack and speed. We only have these percentages because they are basically forced us to use. Like, even though he could probably, instead of this percentage physical defense, he could probably get something else like flat speed. He can just refine this if he wants. But over here, for example, this physical defense, it's forced. You can only either get physical or special defense. And if we go to the boots, of course, complete speed on the boots is freaking amazing. And looking at the hidden skills of a Pokemon like this, which is a glass cannon, you don't need to worry about much. Like, really, you want speed, you want high, you want focus energy. That's like your big three. And if you want to, like, for example, I don't know, like a lot of people enjoy adding like a percentage special attack. You might also need like a percentage crit if your crit isn't the best, because these things, like, it's a glass cannon. You only want mostly offensive hidden skills. Even though there's a steel res over here, it's probably not even doing anything, not gonna lie. If he gets against a sword that moves, the sword will just kill him anyway, so steel res will probably do nothing at all over here. Even though he has like above 1 million defenses and almost 10 million base HP, and this 10 million base HP is multiplied by a lot in battle, I don't think he would be able to resist any sword, especially because sword also ignores defenses. That's a dumb part about like sword and shield. Like, they just ignore defenses for some goddamn reason. That's why they're also so broken. But yeah, complete glass cannon. Let's take a look at the wish stars as well. The wish stars should be like pretty straightforward. Yes, speedy, because this is a glass cannon. You want to attack first, you want to just move first and attack and deal damage. Dual blade, because yes, why not? Increase your damage, increase your speed with time star, and I'm actually going to click on those wish stars for those who don't know the effects of each one. So reducing your own HP but getting more skill power, right? We have time star, more speed, and reducing the enemy Pokemon speed. We have speedy, more speed in the first 2 rounds. So this is made for you to attack first, right? We have a creator star. Yes, it's a creator star with more skill damage can be stacked. So basically you want all the damage multipliers, and I am assuming, I did not even took a look at it, but I am assuming that everything else, yes, everything else that is on his other Pokemons, of course, it's to support and increase the damage of his white. So we have a time star over here. It's not to give speed to his black, but it's to possibly reduce the speed from the enemy. Then we have all of the other wish stars is to just look at this, increasing skill power. We have over here double leaves to increase special attack, and we have a calibration, reducing all the enemies dodge. Okay, this is interesting. And what about Mesprit? Do we have Mesprit over here? No, we don't. Okay, so we only have 2 Pokemons over here, but mostly in higher powers, this is the basic rule of team building through wish stars, which is you want like the most important ones on your main attacker with speedy in case you need to move first, or something like time star as well. And then the support Pokemon, so the side Pokemon, will want to have anything else that helps your main Pokemon either dealing damage or support him in any other way. So we took a look at Big Daddy White, now it's time for Big Mama. That was the reference from a while ago, okay? It was Big Daddy, now this one is the Big Mama. Almost 400 million power, almost 3 million base speed. Now, looking at the ribbon, now one of the flaws from Diancie itself, like Diancie can be very tanky, okay? But even though on her, I think it's dream ability, let me check it out. Yes, even though on her dream ability, at the beginning of each round, increases your own special attack by 6% for 20 rounds, up to 20 times, and reduce restriction damage taken by 20%. So 20 rounds, so 20 times 6. This is increasing your special attack in battle up to 120%. Even though you can do this, 120% more special attack, Diancie kinda lacks a little bit of damage. So people usually, to make up for it, they go with a champion ribbon. Champion ribbon will increase your crit rate, and also, so we can see over here, increases your crit by 12%, and also at the same time, every time that you crit, you have increased crit damage. And this ribbon just by itself, it's amazing, because usually if you are lacking damage, and if you have a champion ribbon laying around on your account, that's what you want to aim for. You want a champion ribbon because you want to increase your damage and your crit, because critting is important in this game. Like, it starts getting to a point where enemies might get a lot of tenacity. Tenacity is basically the counter to crit, is just making your Pokemon so tough that you cannot crit it. So it gets to a point where some players have a lot of tenacity, so it kind of becomes necessary to have a champion ribbon. This might depend on each Pokemon, okay, because some Pokemons have crit multipliers inbuilt. So in other words, some Pokemons on their skills, they have like a lot of crit rate, so they are not needed to have a champion ribbon, but some other Pokemons, well, it's useful that they have. Anyways, we have Diancie with leftovers double star over here as a held item, but the purpose of the double star leftovers is mostly this one, the advanced skill. When this monster is under attack, there is a 50% chance to increase both of your defenses by 30% for 2 rounds. So this is basically a very good help to counter black and white dances. So Diancie itself and the Dynamax is already tanky, like that's his natural tankiness, and increasing defense with the leftovers, also having a little bit of dodge to sometimes dodge some of the damage from black and white's ice type attacks, and all of that increases and all of that helps on just the survivability of Diancie. Diancie's main goal is honestly to survive the dance of black and white, and after surviving the dance, she wants to retaliate, she wants to fight back. If we go to the strike stats, we can see 18,000 HP to start off, 14,000 special attack. Then we have some defenses. Special defense, of course, much higher than the physical defense, since like mostly Diancie wants to counter the black and white themselves. So having that special defense, because most players use white as the attacker, white Kyurem as the attacker, and 36,000 speed. That's an insane amount of speed. That's very cool. And now, going to the hidden skills, first of all, as we can see, we have a maxed out fight res, so this is cool, this is interesting. Maxed out ice resistance, this is like 30% damage reduction against ice type attacks. This is honestly specifically just to counter black and white dance. We also have a maxed out crystal body, and then as you guys can see, it's mostly defensive stuff. We have some high over here, I mean, can help. We have some crit increase, this is very cool. We're starting to have ground resist. Ground resist is mostly for flares, okay? Like, people are starting to use flare. I believe flare, like if you go and compare flare to Diancie at the same power, flare has flare is weaker against black and whites. Okay, before anybody flames me in the comments, oh, but flare is good against Diancie. Yes, flare itself can be good against Diancie, but then Diancie, this is just a loop in my opinion. I can see Diancie as a counter to black and white at this power level, and but then there's like flare countering Diancie and black and white countering flare. It's like a triangle. It seems like some logic like this, even though a well-built Diancie can probably give flare some fight. But it's something that we would need to take a look and see battles about it, which hopefully soon we should be seeing battles of maybe flare against Diancie in this channel. Would be freaking awesome. But hey, what I just said now about this triangle is mostly my opinion. We will have to wait and see battles between all of these Pokemons, which would be awesome to see. Going to the gear, we can see like very specific things. So on the pendant, we have special attack and HP. We have a little bit of speed over there. Going to the second part of the gear, we have HP percentages, special defense over there at 120%, and more HP. So it's focused on HP and special defense. And of course, on the boots, if you can have a little bit of HP, it's fine, or a little bit of special attack, but it's mostly speed as usual. This set is already kind of maxed out. At least it has all the effects already unlocked. That's what really matters about these Cinnabar sets, is having those effects unlocked, because they provide just so much to the Pokemon and to the teams themselves. Now, looking at the Apricorn box, which is something that some players like to know where they should start improving. As we can see, Shield being part of the third team, like he has no improvements at all over here on this Apricorn box. If we go to White being the class cannon, he wants to usually go for the last box, because the last box will just unlock him in battle speed, being faster in battle so that he attacks first, destroys enemies, etc. Then we have Diancie. Diancie has a little bit of a different approach. Actually, we have the first box over here, so we have a maxed out first box already. This will provide us, let me just check it out. It's on this over here. So this already provides 10% damage reduction. So very great. It's very cool to see like those stars like this. Okay, very nice. What is the second one? Already maxed out. What is this exactly? Let's go and see. In battle, all allied Pokemon's max HP is increased by 15%. Okay, we have already 15% in battle HP maxed out. And going to the last one, and this one is the one, and we scroll all the way down, this one is the one that will provide us with in battle speed, and it's on the way. I can see that he already has a lot of these items already stacked up, so he's already building this. Or probably is mostly just holding to those items to decide what he wants to invest next. I believe he would want to go for the speed of this one, since it's missing already a little bit. We already see 1 star here, 1 star there, 1 star there. So he's most likely going to use all of these items and start powering up the speed of his White. But before we leave the Big Mama, let's check the Big Mama's wish stars. We have the crystal, right? The crystal, the standard. This is basically the standard. You guys will see everything that is tanky. You want the beast star, so that increases your own tenacity. Illusion star, less restriction damage. Speedy, well, speedy is still useful on Diancie, even though it's a tank. And then we have the rock type wish star to increase the skill power of rock type. As we spoke a while ago, Diancie might struggle a little bit with damage, so whatever you can increase damage on Diancie, sometimes it can help. And then again, the same logic is going to go to Diancie's teammates, which over here we have Ho-Ho with a support, calibration, beast, double leaf, star of the unknown. And basically what mostly of these wish stars do is basically just supporting the main attacker, just like double leaf, support, etc. And now let's end the video with something different. We are going to take a look at the wish star blocks. Okay, first of all, starting with shield, what do we have here? So we have a fighting type block already with everything unlocked. We have Holy Land, all of your Pokemon's damage reduction of 10%. Okay. We have Power Strike at the beginning of each round, 20% chance of increasing your own physical attack and special attack by 10%, 9% damage reduction. Look at this. Okay, very nice. We have res by 5%. And then what is the last one? Excuse me. Oh, special defense by 3. So this is what we have on shield. Now these star blocks is something that is like very late game. Okay, this is probably the very last thing you will want to power up on your account, unless you are a spender and you can afford to just go that very early game. But this is something that will take like a long time, and usually you just want to get most of these from the events. Now let's see what we have on Diancie. It should have been for last, but we have Super Holy Land, so this is more damage reduction for everybody in your team. 20% damage reduction for everybody in your team. Okay, then we have more special attack, that's cool. We have more def, restriction damage reduction, 9%, very cool. We have increase in crit rate, it's always helpful. And then we have the first one, HP, in battle HP by 8%. Okay, so it's mostly going towards the tanky side. keeping in mind that everything that you can get over here, this is all a random, so all of this is very hard to get. So for example, let's take a look at the other fairy thing that he has over here. It's increasing his crit, increasing his dodge. So as you can understand, comparing this one that he has on his bag to what he is using, the other one is just much better. But like everything is based on luck, on getting all the things that you need on a single Pokemon. So getting a very good Starstone ends up like being incredibly lucky. And then we have a purple Dragonstone, because like let's filter this for Dragon. We have a golden one, and what is the golden one? When you are the first one to move, increase your own 35% crit damage for 1 round. Just 1 round. Okay, yikes. I don't like it being 1 round. We have like if you dodge successfully, yada yada, more damage reduction. I mean, for black and white, you want to do damage, not having the damage reduction. So res and defense. And the other ones, I mean, we have one with quick attack. Quick attack is actually amazing. 8% chance of moving again after crit. It's actually freaking awesome. And I mean, the other ones don't seem as much likely, but this one, ooh, in battle, increasing your own speed by 8%. So we have a nice battle start speed. We have increase on your hit by 5%. Increase your own restriction damage reduction. So this one seems a little bit pointless. And then we have explosion. When joining a battle, 35% chance of increasing your own 30% res for 2 rounds. So in a way, it feels like he's only using this one. It's mostly for the speed. It's mostly for the speed. I would probably... I like the quick attack. The chance to move again after a crit, especially because black and white themselves, they have a lot of crit. They crit a lot on the enemy, and the quick attack is nice, but at the same time, what he's using right now is 8% speed, and that's really hard to pass on on a black and white. If you would have something else with that much speed and a decent other thing on the other, yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice, but right now, as I said a while ago, getting those things, getting these Starstones, the like decent Starstones, it's incredibly hard. It's like you need to have a lot of luck, and also you need to spend a lot in order to get something decent on those Starstones. But yeah, this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the second part of HappyP's account and this kind of video. If you guys have any other suggestions of any other kinds of videos that I could make, feel free, leave in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next video.